Hello and welcome. It is Writing Wednesday. We're going to do a short tutorial talking a little bit about an opinion essay and one characteristic that we can think of when we are writing an opinion essay. And we're going to follow that by a rapid essay review. I have an essay we're going to review today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then we will see here. Share. All right, there we go. Let's see if we get a slideshow. Perfect. Okay, so today we're talking about this characteristic of an opinion essay where the opinion is broad enough to require support, but narrow enough to support the length that's required. So we don't want it to be too long. We don't want it to be too short. We want it to be just right, kind of like that story of the three bears. And, the porridge was too hot and too cold and just right. So we're trying to find the breadth of the topic that is just right for the length that you are writing. And we're going to be finding your opinion and how much of your opinion or what parts of your opinion can you discuss in the time. If you are writing a 250 word essay, your topic needs to be fairly narrow. If you're writing a 1,000 word essay, you need to be able to expand that topic, and that's what we're talking about today. So here is an example of an essay prompt. Although more and more people read the news on the internet, newspapers will remain the most important source of news for the majority of people. Do you agree or disagree? Now, as soon as it says agree or disagree, I know I need to write an opinion essay. And I've highlighted a couple of things here to help guide our thoughts as we are defining our topic, the scope of our topic. Most important. So that's key in thinking about what do we agree? Do we disagree? So newspapers, most important. Okay. For the majority of people. So that's what we're agreeing or disagreeing with. And as we're thinking about the scope of our essay, that's what we're going to be considering. So if I said, I disagree, I totally disagree. I think that more people read news on the internet and that the internet is the most important source of news for the majority of people. So that's what you're saying if you disagree. Now, whether you agree or disagree doesn't really matter. We still have to support whatever opinion. I could have said agree that I think most people get their news from the newspaper. So I disagreed. Now, if I have this as a broad topic, I could discuss the many newspaper or internet news sites and the demographics that read them. So I could say there's the New York Times, there's the Calgary Herald, there's the whatever, then a whole pile of different newspapers. And then I could list news sites on the internet. And I could discuss who reads what to figure out or to prove my point that actually more people are looking at internet news sites. Now, if I was writing a 1,000 word essay, I might need a broad topic like this. What if it's narrow? We're talking about a specific newspaper or internet news site and a specific demographic. So only single working moms, and they get their news from this news site rather than from newspapers. That would be such a tiny sliver of the topic. We might not even have enough information to fill out a 250-word essay. So how can we get it just right? Perhaps if we're writing a short essay, 250, even up to 500 words maybe, we could say overall, we could talk about internet versus newspaper and how we think internet news, the majority of people provide or get their news from the internet versus the newspaper. And we could give a couple of general reasons for disagreeing, meaning a couple of general reasons why we think the internet is where people get their news instead of newspapers. Now, they're not saying all people, they're saying the majority. But here's the thing, I can use specific examples to support the position. So just because I'm not listing every single newspaper and every single internet site, I still need some specific examples because that's what's going to get it to resonate with the reader. And then they go, oh, yes, if lots of people are getting their news from this news source, then it's believable to think that the majority of people are getting their news from the internet versus newspapers. So we have some characteristics of an opinion essay, of which this is one of. So the one we talked about today, the opinion is broad enough to require support, but narrow enough to support the required length. But also, we have reasons that are logical, objective, based on facts, evidence, observation, or experience. We don't just restate our reasons, we support the opinion. We provide the major reasons. So we're not looking for the minutia, we're looking for the major reasons that people could understand. And organization, we have a couple of organizational choices: chronological, enumerative, climactic, simple to complex, or problem and solution. These are all characteristics of an opinion essay. So now it's your turn. I challenge you this week, take this topic and write your own opinion essay. So although more and more people read the news on the internet, newspapers will remain the most important source of news for the majority of people. Do you agree or disagree? You can take either side. Then, so write your essay and submit it for feedback on the next Writing Wednesday Rapid Essay Review. And you can submit your essay at learn.summitwriting.net/essay review. And I will put that link in the chat so that, here, why don't I just put that here? summitwriting.net/essay review. And you can go ahead and go there. Oh, I made an error there. Let's learn. Sorry, this should be learn. learn.summitwriting.net/essay-review. All right, that'll take you there. Okay, that's better. So I would love to see your essays. Submit them through the form there, and we can have a look at them, do a rapid essay review in the next session. Now we are going to move on and do an essay review. We're going to use a revision checklist. which I will share with you. So let's go here. All right. So this is our rapid essay review revision checklist. And we are going to go through the essay quickly just to see how many of these we can check off. And then the person that submitted the essay will just leave that anonymous and I will connect with them later. They can go ahead and make the updates to their essay based on the feedback. But by having a clear revision checklist, we know exactly what we're looking for. And it's just a yes or a no. Is it there? Is it not there? And this is how we can make our essays stronger. So I'm going to share that essay with you so you can see it as we go through and do the review. Okay, so on your screen, you should see the essay. I'm going to actually make that a little bit larger so that it's easier for you to see on your screen. And the first thing that we are going to be looking for is the thesis statement. So here's some of the substance things. Is the thesis clearly stated? Does it include examples? Does it fulfill the goals that they set out in the thesis? And did it meet the instructions included with the assignment? So we don't know exactly what the assignment was, so we may or may not be able to get that. But let's see if we have a thesis statement. So I'm looking at this first paragraph, and I'm assuming as I go here that I am going to be able to know exactly what the writer is talking about or going to explain to me in this essay. Nowadays, technology has become an important part of human life. As technology is getting advanced day by day, new gadgets and equipment are coming, so it is replacing our traditional behavior. In my opinion, technology can be useful, particularly when people want to convey their messages to other places. But in certain cases, it is better to choose the traditional method. Both of them are performing well in their domain. In this paragraph, I will make a discussion on both aspects and support it with examples. So what is this essay talking about? I'm going to make bold a couple of things as I am looking. So we're going to be talking about technology. So I'm assuming the rest of the essay will be about that. And that it is an important part of human life. So the essay should be talking about that based on what the writer has written here. We're talking about technology replacing traditional behavior. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note here to myself. Technology replaces traditional behavior. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting to see. In my opinion, technology can be useful, particularly when people want to convey their messages. So I'm assuming that we're going to have something about conveying messages. But in certain cases, it is better to choose the traditional method. So I am also assuming that they are going to talk about the traditional method. So I think they're probably going to compare and contrast some of these things to see to what extent they like or agree with the idea that technology is an important part of human life. And then the author says, in this paragraph, in this essay, I will make a discussion on both aspects and support it with examples. I think you could just get rid of that sentence altogether and come up with a different transitional sentence. Okay, so if we go back to our, where did we go here? Let's go back to our checklist. And let's see. I think the thesis is reasonably clearly stated. We'll see what happens in the rest of it. We're going to see if they come up with some examples and if they fulfill those goals. So let's go back and see what we're going to look at the structure. Is there a clear and logical pattern that proves the thesis? So we want to make sure that it's clear and logical throughout. Does the introduction give a clear indication of what the essay is about? I think yes. Now, is each paragraph unified and developed? Meaning, as we read the paragraphs, are they talking about only one topic in each paragraph? We're looking for a topic sentence that's going to guide us in knowing what the rest of the paragraph is about. And is each paragraph related to the thesis? So not only do we want to make sure it is making sense within the paragraph, we want to make sure that paragraph relates to the main topic. And are there transitions to smooth the reading from one paragraph to the next? And is there a well-reasoned and interesting conclusion? So let's check that out. Let's go back to our essay. And let's see. So paragraph 1, let's check if there is a topic sentence. Technological revolutions change the life of human beings, and one of the most important is the invention of mobile phones and computers. Okay, so I'm assuming that the rest of this paragraph is going to be talking about mobile phones and computers. So let's see if that is the case. Although the computer and mobile have many useful features, the most prominent is convenience in communication around the globe. Okay, so he's building this argument that mobile phones and computers are the most important. It makes communication fast and easy. Okay, so here's a supporting point. Nice. So no one looked for the letter posting. I think he means that nobody's going and looking for the mail. So right now at this stage, we're not looking for word usage, sentence structure, this kind of thing. We're looking for ideas and structure. For instance, okay, so now we have an example. Excellent. Let's see if this example relates. Making audio or video calls, and that relates to mobile phones and computers. Excellent. Sending and receiving messages to your friends and family who are living in another city or another part of the world has become very easy. So that ties back to that first part of the paragraph. Instead of writing a letter, post it and waiting for several days to get a reply. In terms of communication, technology has outweighed the traditional method of communication. Okay, so now remember this. This is great because in this first paragraph, in our introduction, it's talking about the traditional method. And in this paragraph, the writer tied that back together. Nicely done. Now let's see what the next paragraph will bring us. Because in the introduction, he was saying technology is good because you can convey messages, but in certain cases, traditional is good. So let's see if the second paragraph is about that. Traditional technique, so we might have some word usage issues, which we'll talk about later, is very difficult, and there are rare people left who can produce articles using it. Okay, very difficult sentence to read and understand, so we could simplify that. The prime purpose is to produce luxury and originality. Items produced by this have high prices. Okay. Now I feel we went somewhere totally different. I thought we were talking about technology, new gadgets, equipment, conveying messages. So I thought we were talking about phones, computers, like that kind of technology. And all of a sudden, we're talking about something totally different. Let's keep reading and see what we can find out. Although the recent garment markets have increased the production and have diversity in terms of colors and variety, they do not have quality like traditional ones. Their colors get fade after some time. Clothes that produce with traditional method are more excellent and vibrant as they utilize natural fibers rather than using artificial fibers. Therefore, quality clothes manufacturing done by traditional method outweighs the new techniques. All right. I did not see that coming. So if you want to have a variety of technology in this essay, you need to introduce that in the introductory paragraph. Because otherwise the reader's going, whoa, I thought we were talking about phones and computers, and now we're talking about clothes. So I'm confused. So you can, and I thought what would happen is you would talk about phones and computers, and then as far as traditional methods, letter writing, because you had talked about letter writing earlier. So I would remove this paragraph about the clothing manufacturing and instead talk about letter writing and more traditional forms of communication. Conclusion. Technology has changed the way of living and replaced the traditional culture, but it also has flaws in it. Both technology and traditions are incompatible. Therefore, we should devise the method and use which one there where it produces the better result. Okay, so we have some grammatical word use issues here, but what I'm hearing is that although technology has replaced some of the cultural things, there are some flaws with it. I'm not sure technology and traditions are incompatible. I would think about rephrasing that. Therefore, we should devise a method and use which one where it produces the better result. I think that's a great way to end because it throws it back on the reader. It still gives your opinion. So let's go back to the checklist and see what we have. Included examples. Okay, there were some examples. I would not say that they fulfilled all the goals set in the thesis because all of a sudden we started talking about marketing clothes. And I expected that there would be something about letter writing. So we'll leave that. Clear and logical pattern. The first paragraph, great, related to the topic. The second paragraph, each paragraph is unified and developed. So let's say first paragraph. Yes. Each paragraph contains a strong, clear topic sentence. So let's just talk about the first paragraph. Each paragraph is related to the thesis. No, I would say that second paragraph wasn't strongly related. Were there transitions between paragraphs? I would say we could work on some transitions. The conclusion seemed to work. Then we get to style. Verbs, prepositions, transitional words and phrases, language is precise and concise. Did we edit out repetitive language? and then proofreading, spelling, typos, and correct word usage. So some of these things, that's where we can dig a little bit deeper, which we're going to stop here. Let's go back to the essay. And this is where I would like to invite you to join the Write for Results Facebook page. And let me just get you the link for that, because that's where we can dive in and talk about some of these nitty-gritty topics so that you can get a better grasp, not only on the structure and the substance, but also on the style. So do join that Facebook group where we can have further discussions about the essays. So I would say this is a very solid start. There's a couple of things that need some revision, and then post it in the Write for Results Facebook group, and we can talk about some of the stylistic things to think about for this essay. Thank you very much for submitting this essay for review. I invite you to, let me go back to our topic for this week, because I invite you to write an essay and share it. This is how we learn, is by writing, sharing, talking about it, and just working through it. Writing is a messy process. And sometimes we think, oh, I just need another set of eyes. And then you get some feedback and you go, oh, that makes sense. Let me try this. Or I didn't think of that. Because you get so stuck in writing your essay that it's hard to step back and see what you're missing. So let's go to, although more and more people read the news on the internet, newspapers will remain the most important source of news for the majority of people. Do you agree or disagree? Write that essay this week and then submit it to learn.summitwriting.net/essay-review. Until next time, get writing.